Champagne Friday. Here we go. One producer, 3 villages, special club, 3 cuvees prestige. Rather new concept that one player could make special club from different villages. I love it. I think you do as well. Pierre Gimonnet, Didier and Olivier today. They make among the purest Côte Blanc champagnes there is. I would say that if you compare to winemakers like Celos School, who are so much stronger, richer, and if you have the Bonnaire style from Cramant, so much more creamy, etc. But when it comes to precision and refinement and minerality, there are very, very few that can compete with Gimonnet. So one of the favorite producers in Côte Blanc. I would say that for a long time I felt that they very often were a little bit too mineralic, a little bit too shy when they were released, and they don't like to age their own champagne for such a long time. So in my mind it was a little bit smaller champagne than the absolutely best. But when they released the collection, you know, this big magnum from Chouilly a little bit, Chouilly and Cramant from the best vineyards, then I really fell in love. But even more so, now when they have divided their best plots and they also obtain a little bit of slightly younger vineyards in Oger. So we have Special Club, Cuvée Prestige, directly from Oger, 100% Oger, of course, 3 grams of sugar, pure minerality. Terre de Noël is the most important plot, vineyard in this. And then from their own vineyards down to 1951, the oldest one, classic Chouilly from just one plot, Montaigu. Probably the most typical of the styles that they produce. And then normally my favorite from the vintages that's been released, and there's only 2 before, so this is the 3rd time, is the vintage 15. Cramant, with a couple of places, but Montgrand down to, listen again, 1911. Vines with an age of 111 years. So absolutely, for me, I think it's definitely in the major in Grand Cru, it's the oldest vines I heard about. So that gives super concentration, but together with a vinification which is so much based on finesse, elegance, and lightness and purity, it's a gorgeous combination where it just bursts out some extra creaminess, even if the producers are holding very, very tight. So that's the style. The vintage 15, beautiful for Pinot Noir, beautiful for Pinot Meunier, early drinking from some, especially from some organic producers who makes really beautiful 2015s. Côte Blanc, not as good. The style is lacking acidity, lacking freshness, being too warm, low acidity. That's the problem. But I pre-tasted a little bit. It's not a problem here. It's almost like it's been given an extra touch of this buttery note, which is sometimes takes a little bit too long time to obtain for most people who drink it. So I take it from the start. Of course, made the same way. 3 and 4 grams of sugar. Differences should only be terroir. Lovely. First time ever I notice raspberries in Oger. So much vanilla, so much of this raspberry notes, geranium, very flowery notes popping up, very strong, very direct, very intense, but rounder than normal because of the vintage. Very flattering, precise of course, but this balance between this very strong intensity from the vintage, the richness, the sweetness that you obtain, despite it's just only 3 grams of sugar, you obtain that on the nose. Mid-palate, almost salon-like walnutiness. The butter is oily. It's the burnt butter in the pan, the fried butter. Beautiful richness. And then, again, strict, dry finish. Minerality-wise, I don't know. I would not have guessed that it's Oger. It's not that obvious. It's more like a beautiful Blanc le Blanc. Could have been a Luminil. More classic from this producer down to 1951. You remember Montaigu, Chouilly. This time, slightly younger, slightly more restrained. I need to age this a little bit more than the Oger. Minerality-wise, beautiful. Precision-wise, beautiful. But a little bit shyer than we had in the Oger. So direct conclusion is, normally I prefer the Chouilly to the Oger. This time, the other way around. It takes some extra time. You don't have the butteriness there, but you have this purity, this finesse, this refinement. Aromatically, more almonds, not so much on the hazelnutty or walnutty salon-like style that I spoke about before. I also, despite the fact that I'm speaking about very fresh notes, there are some leathery, gamey notes, which are giving some depth to it. I would guess that if this was not Friday where I speak for approximately 10 minutes, it will age in the glass beautifully. But I will keep it for 5 more years than the Oger. Okay, the superstar down to 1911 from the vines. Cramant, Mongrel based. Something in between. Intensity-wise, I think that for me, Oger is stronger, but a little bit more simple in its style. Simple is the wrong word here, but you have such a beautiful finesse in this one. Slightly less intense, but even more beautiful. Age a little bit more, and you'll have even more. What do I find here? The raspberry notes is here more wild strawberries, which is a typicity that you very often find actually just in Cramant. You never find wild strawberries in Chardonnay, in Grand Cru, from any other village than Cramant. So for me, that is a blind tasting trick to find that one. Buttery, of course. Butterscotch. Candied notes, yes, but nothing is vulgar. Everything is so beautifully composed, and there's a lot of early white and yellow flowers that you get in the beginning of the summer or the spring, like aromas. Oh, this is a wine where I feel myself, why do I speak so much? Of course, it's for your sake, but I don't want to speak. I just want to be inside the glass, and I will go there. I hope you will join me, and if you got the possibility to taste it at the same time, then it's the best. How can a wine be so caressing, so gentle, so smooth, and at the same time underneath, picking on your taste buds, being so fresh, being so lively, being so restrained, just like I'm waiting for the punch to come, and that will come in 10, 15 years or so. Absolutely beautiful. I would say for my personal tastes, Oger is slightly the winner if I just need to drink them today. But in the long run, there's no question of a doubt. Cramant is the superstar of Gimoni.